Well, welcome everyone. My name is Terry Kirshner. I'm the Executive Director of the Westchester Library System. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's a beautiful Friday, nice and sunny. Appreciate you spending the time on Zoom with us. Just some quick house rules. For the moment, we have everyone on automatic mute. Once we move into the next section, everyone will have the opportunity to unmute themselves and to speak in the smaller group sessions. But if you would like to speak during this portion, please use the raise a hand feature, and then we'll make sure that you get unmuted so that you can speak. Or use the chat box. We'll be monitoring that as well. As a reminder, today's session will be recorded, so we'll have the opportunity to share that with you as well if you're interested. So I really just want to take the chance this morning to thank all of you as library advocates, and especially our state legislators for all the support that we've gotten throughout this year and the years past. We are really fortunate to have such a vibrant library community, and really that's possible because of all of the support that we get from the community and our legislators. So to give you a quick sense of what we'll be doing today, first, we're going to do some overview at the system level of how library aid has been supportive for WLS and the member libraries. And then we're going to follow up with some breakout sessions that actually allow for more discussion at what's happening at the member library level, at the local level, so that the legislators and library advocates can really engage in more detail. So the crux of the challenge this year is really that for the 5th straight year, the governor's executive budget has reduced funding for libraries. The proposed amount of library aid this year is $87 million, which is a 7.5% or $7.6 million reduction statewide. And one of the challenges that we see is that, everybody's doing more this year. COVID has created new challenges, and to have the budget cut, especially this year, hits us even harder perhaps than in past years. The other challenge is that our public library construction aid is being held at $14 million statewide. And basically this means that in Westchester County, for the 38 public libraries, we will have just under $655,000 available to support the libraries in their efforts to move forward with broadband expansion, with other library constructions that would make the libraries more accessible. More than ever, we really see that the role of public libraries, especially as a trusted resource for information, has become more and more valuable. Last year, we spent a lot of effort supporting the Census effort. Last year and this year as well, COVID-19 information distributions, as well as the ongoing activities such as job skills training, job placement, medical health information support. Basically, libraries are a trusted source of information. And at the system level, we really try to promote the efficiencies that allow for the maximization of every tax dollar. WLS also does quite a bit of outreach work with the member libraries. And we'll be talking a little bit more about that. But one of the things I want to make clear is, we're not social workers by any means or social service providers, but we really help people get connected to the right resources that give them the opportunities to move forward. And that's really where the libraries shine, is helping get the communities connected to the information or the service providers that can make their lives better. So just to kind of do a quick recap of one of our big projects from last year, I want to show a quick film of the Census project, which was, yes, it was a one-year project, but it has lasting impact for the next 10 years. And I think libraries should be very proud of the role that we played in helping to make sure that every person in Westchester was counted. So Dana, if you would please.
2020 was the year of the first all-digital census. How did the pandemic shift your organization's efforts?
With the census, it really was a challenge to sort of flip from what had been a field-based operation to a virtual operation?
We had to really think about, now we couldn't be in the libraries.
We have done workshops in talking about the importance of census. We also did another workshop in showing people specifically how to complete the census online. And we explained step from 1 through 10, how to complete it. And that was just for Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown. We actually shared through whole social media, through whole Westchester County.
We've worked with the Westchester County to have some tablets and laptops and other things that are available.
Folks were able to pull up to the libraries to collect the books that they had ordered online. They could hand them out in a census bag with a census flyer with some information on it in case that family or household had not yet responded to the census.
It made a huge difference. I think if we didn't have the tablets, just by spreading the word alone, it would not have been an impact at all.
We also would go to the programs that we were having in the park.
Things like emergency food distributions and outdoor events to the extent that, they were allowed.
Westchester County did a tremendous job, and it really, I think the work in the census really showed the incredible partnership that exists across the county among a whole variety of organizations that partner together.
It was wonderful to see the collaboration, all of the different libraries that would participate in the census chat and connects, which is what we called them. They would bring different ideas to the table.
We look forward to working with WLS. I love the partnership with WLS. I think that it has been fundamental in the census outreach initiative.
So just kind of gives you the flavor that one of the things the system level does really well is partnerships. And to sort of talk about what those partnerships mean in terms of the outreach services that we provide, I'd like to introduce Krishna Horrigan.
Hey everyone, my name is Krishna Horrigan. I'm part of the Westchester Library System's outreach team. And library outreach works to empower the community with information through direct service and through the generation of these partnerships that Terry's talking about, collaborations, referrals with our member libraries and many community partners throughout Westchester County. Our focus is on audiences who may be unfamiliar with the wealth of library resources and programs, especially those that they can use to address today's challenges, from finding authoritative information on COVID-19, finding help for managing stress, to assisting with the job search and connecting individuals and families to needed community resources. So our goal is for everyone to feel supported through their local library and through the library system. Let me show you just 2 websites that will give you a little idea of the scope of the programming and resources that we have to offer. So the first one I want to show you is conversations.westchesterlibraries.org. This site features programs that support community resilience. We actively curate information related to COVID-19 and the vaccination rollout, along with our newest effort here in New York, Project Hope. We're excited to be working with 5 other organizations across Westchester to provide crisis counseling and referrals for the broad audience of those who are impacted by the pandemic, whether that's someone in need of a job, food, shelter, someone to talk to, or ways to exercise self-care. Through our Westchester Breathes program, we offer classes 6 days a week to teach simple breathing exercises shown to reduce stress and increase calm. And at a time like this, who doesn't need something like that? The second site that I want to show you is firstfind.org. Now, this site is a task-oriented guide for adults who are trying to accomplish personal goals that can include things like a job search or career change, earning a high school equivalency diploma, planning for college, and even just finding resources for their families. Let me just click here into jobs and careers to show you that each page is kind of broken down into a start, a middle, and an end section. And the goal here is really to walk people through these goals step by step, to give them some explanations and resources that can support them along their journey, along their path. And we also provide on every single page, on every single site that we have, we provide one-on-one support, direct contact if they want to get in touch with us, the outreach team, our volunteer tutors, our job search coach. There's always an opportunity to have that dialogue, and that's often where we can get the most rich interactions with our patrons around the county. So These are just two of our sites, and we have quite a few more. I haven't addressed our services for seniors, for caregivers, for people in reentry, and those with disabilities, but we welcome you to find out more about that stuff by contacting us at outreach@wlsmail.org or checking out the westchesterlibraries.org website. I hope this has given you a little taste of what libraries are doing to lift up our communities. There's so much that we're capable of that we can accomplish, not only as an information source, but also as a trusted information navigator, helping people break down the resources and understand what's actually out there for them. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Krishna. That was wonderful. Now I'd like to introduce Andrew Farber, who is the current director of the Chappaqua Library, but this year has the challenging role of being the president of the Public Library Directors Association, to help navigate 38 public libraries through COVID. Andrew's done a great leadership job, and I'd like him to share some of his experiences over the past year.
Thank you, Terry. As Terry said, I am the director of the Chappaqua Public Library, as well as the current president of PLDA. I would like to start by thanking our legislators and my fellow libraries for taking the time out of their busy schedule to be here today. Libraries are facing unique challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. We have already been making many changes to the services we offer and our role in our community, but during COVID, we have had to really adapt to the new normal. We are providing our patrons with expanded digital offerings, with new forms of programming, and maintaining our collections. But the libraries have adapted to the new normal by continuing to innovate. We've added new electronic databases, subscribed to streaming services for our patrons, implemented technology lending services such as laptops and mobile hotspots for patrons who may not have access to the internet. We've added real-time virtual reference to our websites. Of course, we've added curbside pickup, which has been remarkably popular for our public. And we've done that while continuing to maintain our normal offerings, such as collection development, our programming, which we've moved to either virtual online space, or for those of us who are lucky enough to have an outdoor area, we've moved some programming in the good weather to outside. But all of this has taken place while libraries are struggling to upgrade our antiquated infrastructure, increase our network capacity, space out our staff, and ensure a safe working environment for everybody. We've had to upgrade HVAC systems. We're doing all of this while facing potential budget shortfalls in the coming year. We really want to thank the legislators for their hard work in supporting the libraries over the past few years, and urge everyone to restore our funding in the state budget as you have in the past. We cannot provide all of the services that we offer currently without your support. And we thank you for taking your time today. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Andrew. So at this point, we're going to break out into smaller groups. And I want to thank Tom Giaffino from the New Rochelle Public Library and Chris Shoemaker from the Rye Free Reading Room for facilitating the breakout rooms. So Dana, Joe, and Krishna, I will let you do your magic. Just want to remind everyone that once you're in the breakout rooms, you will have the ability to unmute, but we do ask that you mute when not speaking, just to keep the chance of background noise to a minimum. I'm guessing everyone's back. I hope you enjoyed the breakout sessions. So really want to just take a couple of minutes here just to thank everyone for spending the time this morning. I hope you found it a valuable learning experience. There's one issue, at least in our breakout group, that we wanted to talk about a little bit more. Just want to mention digital equity or digital access. I think more than anything, we've realized how disconnected Westchester actually can be for many of our constituents. And it is a struggle that every library has been trying to address in different ways. We have multiple hotspot lending programs, Chromebooks that are being lent out, but it's really just, it's a beginning. It's not the solution. So one of the things that we are hoping going forward, as we work together with the legislators, is that we think about ways to help make Westchester truly connected for everyone, that we can find a way to consider digital access as a basic human right. Just as you are entitled to shelter, you should be, entitled to be connected. So it's a longer term issue, and I know it's one that you yourselves are looking at. But I just want to say that the library system is committed to this. We have several digital equity projects underway. And at some other point, I'd be happy to talk about that. But we recognize we are now in a true hybrid environment. That's the one thing that COVID probably has brought forward. We will be in a society that will always be much more digitally connected than we were in the past. And we need to make sure that everyone has that opportunity to be connected. So it's part of our journey going forward. And we certainly look forward to working with all of you to make sure that everyone has that access. Does anyone have any last minute remarks? Perhaps Senate Majority Leader Andrew Cousins, you'd like to say a few words? Oh.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, again, this has been just because you're the library, even though we are constricted in and restricted to our boxes, the experience has been rich, and the commitment from us, I know that is real. I see that a lot of my senators, we were in a breakout room and people's names were called who weren't there, but I just want to recognize that Senator Jamal Bailey is with us. And I know I saw Senator Harcum and one of our newest senators, Elijah Reichlin Melnick, Senator Shelley Mayer, the chair of education. So I don't think I've missed anyone else, but as I said, there's never been a more committed group in the Senate to education, to access, and to the reality that libraries can create the pathways to education and access that even schools may not be able to create. I said, I know that it was important in my life. So I thank you for what you do. We will fight. I think you all know how the budget dance goes because you all do it very well. But like I said, that it's going to be a very, very tough year, but every year is a tough year. But what we are committed to do, and I know my assembly members too, I imagine they all won't be speaking. So let me just mention Assembly Member Abenanti and Chris Burdick, another brand new assembly person. And I know Assemblyman Otis was here as well. But everybody is really committed to making sure that we put our money where our priorities are. And we are going to fight, to make sure that the federal dollars get to where they're supposed to go, and that the state's commitment to the things that we care about, and I believe education is the great equalizer, will be able to have, resources going forward. And that includes you libraries, whether it's the construction, whether it is, I don't want to make any promises, but I can tell you where, the direction that I believe the legislature wants to go. We want to bolster the things that we know will make an enduring and lasting difference positively in our communities. And that absolutely includes libraries. Thank you for all that you do, because you have made our lives better, and for generations to come, you will continue your work and your flexibility. So thank you.
Thank you. And I know we're out of time, but I really just want to thank everyone again for taking an hour out of your day to sort of celebrate libraries and to work together to make the world a better place. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.